computer. Welcome everyone to my new show called Secret Space Program Interviews. Kind of a direct name I thought was funny. Today I have with me a real Secret Space Program experiencer named Veronica Bartolini. Maybe you already know her. She has a really great channel and has posted many videos already, called Codebreaker Real Talk. But today, excuse me, today I was hoping to, I keep thinking about people who don't know this, like if more normies discover this information. I was hoping to, even if it means you might have to share stuff you've already shared, I was hoping to ask a few basic questions and then to just see where the conversation will go. So, sound good?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So yes, that's Veronica Bartolini. And so let's see. I remember from your videos that you said that when you were just like 3, some strange things started happening. I was wondering, like, when did you first get into um somebody else's hands besides your parents?
Ever since I was 3 years old, I was taken pretty much from my parents because thank you for having me on my show. And your show will go viral. You will go great. You will go big, and you will attach everything that you've been doing with your artwork, and everything's going to come together, and it's going to be awesome. I'm very happy for you. Thank you for letting me be here. So, well, it was great meeting you in Florida. I love you.
Have you
And
too?
your son. Yeah, thank you. And so 3 years old, my mom sends me to Head Start. So Head Start is supposedly preschool, but not really because you're like 3 years old. That's the earliest you can be in the program. I asked my mom later when I was older, I said, why did you send me there? And she says, well, all the parents were doing it and they were telling me that it was a good opportunity for you to go to school. Y en español dice, y eras tremenda, casi no dormías, te levantabas bien temprano. Like, I would be up like at 3, 4 in the morning watching the screen on TV. Even if nothing was on there, I was just staring at the screen. Just, I don't know why.
Just
It
static.
was, yeah, I just felt like home, like the white noise. And I got messages so weird. I later on did a regression where I saw different things. But going to Head Start, I learned how to read and write English when I was 3. They would take me to the parks, in Nogales, Arizona, they have lakes. So they would take me and the other kids to lakes. I remember my dad, I remember telling him, Dad, I need a boat, like a wooden boat. I don't know how to make it. Can you help me? So he taught me we built the little boat together. It was just a slab of wood and then 4 wheels. And I'm like, okay, I thought it was supposed to be a boat, right? And a string. And so we took it through the water. I remember in class without my parents' supervision. It was just a bunch of us kids there. And then another really major thing that I remember is they had us in the playground, they had us hold hands, make a circle and dance and sing. And then they had us go around the merry-go-round. I haven't seen one lately, but the merry-go-rounds are like the steel, kind of like a windmill thing, but flat this way and it goes, you know what I mean? And you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, the old playground, merry-go-round.
Yeah. So I would always be spinning and spinning. I love to spin and just love being there. I did the whole gymnastics thing. My mom had me in gymnastics too. Now, one thing that got my attention recently, a few months ago, was I had never heard of Andrea Basiago.
Oh, wow. That's a major testimony.
Yeah, I had never heard of him. So I started listening to him and I'm like, wait a minute, it makes sense why they had us spinning, because the more you spin, you go out of body, right? So I was being experimented that way too. And I have memories of being in gyms later on when I was older, like a teenager, maybe being in these gyms and holding on to these like pull downs, but we're actually like 2 floors up and there's ships on the bottom, like um, aircraft ships, like they're going to go into space crafts. And we're on the top of this building. And it also reminds me of like been some dreams that I've been on the moon. And I'm like, what? The craters of the moon? Or I've actually been in one of the NASA places. It's a 2-story building where they have ships too. So anyway, Andrea was that, I'm sorry, I forget his name.
Santiago.
Yeah, Basiago was
Santiago.
talking about this. Yeah, I forget his first name, but it's Basiago. And he was talking about his how his father would take him to like would say that he was going to take him somewhere, but then he would take him with the CIA guys, things like that. Um, I'm just surprised that my mother would actually let me go that early, and then later on, of course, I was in regular school, and but I do have a memory when I was 3. What I'd like to do, and I wrote about it, and thank you so much for reading my book, My Life in the Secret Space Program. I was really originally going to name it My Naked Truth, a Female Cop, but I named it this. That way I can just do my rundown. Um, I tended to go to my neighbor's house a lot because they had a little kiddie pool, like a little swimming, little kid size, blue pool. And there was like a hole in the fence, and I would go under it every morning, 3, 4 in the morning, whatever, the crack of dawn. So I couldn't sleep. I just had a lot of energy. I'm O negative bloodline, and both my families are. So now I realize, right, why I'm so, or have a lot of energy. So my kids are like that too. So anyway, my dad, who was just like that too as a child, I was told that he was just terrible. Like he just would just leave and do whatever he wanted. Um, so, but I find this interesting. I just wanted to swim in the swimming pool. And then when the kids woke up over there, I would play with them that I remember. And when there was a time where the lady was folding a bunch of underwear, and she only had like maybe two kids. And I kept asking, why do you have so many underwear? She goes, why do you ask so many questions? But I would see kids going in and out of her house, like, okay, it was a couple with a bunch of kids here and there. And I'm like, why are there so many kids? And I thought, well, are they abducting them? Now that I'm older, I'm like, well, maybe they were, I don't know, just kind of weird. What if they were taking the kids too?
That's
So I
very,
remember, huh?
that's very weird.
Yeah. And I liked going over there because of the water. And just weird because when my mom, she would spank me, and my dad, he spanked me twice about that too, because they didn't like for me to disappear like that. And I have missing time. Now, one of the times that I do have is being picked up by a ship, and it was like a round ship, kind of like the Bell, but not so high, like flatter. The Bell is a German
Right, right.
bell, right? So it was kind of like that, but more flat on the top. And it was like a lavender silver kind of shine to it. And there was a lady, they all had on these suits that were different. Like one of them was blue, she had the purple one on. There was 2 other guys, and one of them had the blue, the other one had, I think, green, something like that. And they had like these big old eyes like this, and they had curly hair, but it was like stuck to their hair. And they had me and other kids on a table, and we had things like floating in the air with our mind. It's kind of weird.
Wow.
And there was also, in school, we as kids we did those things that go open close with paper, and then you
Yeah,
pick a
I used to
little.
do that too.
Yeah, it's yeah, it was fun doing that. And but it was kind of like a memory games that we played, and then they just were testing our abilities to see what we can do. And I could levitate. You know, I'm a somnambulist, so that my dad was also a somnambulist. We can sleepwalk. And to this day, my son will say, he lives with me. He says, Mom, why'd you go to the kitchen? What do you mean I came to the kitchen? I remember sometimes, and sometimes I don't remember. Like probably checking on you, I don't know, or getting something to eat. Who knows? So maybe being taken and not remembering, because I do have a lot of dreams where they're so real to me. And I can, there's been dreams where I've had holding the wormholes open for the pilots to come in. And then I was also a pilot in one of the programs called Nachwaffen, which is funny because look, my ear just popped. It's reminding me to talk about the Wrights brothers. So I was like in junior high, and me and another boy were selected to fly a Cessna at the old Tucson Airport, at the old one on Valencia. And I remember my mom taking me, and she said yes. And I have my certificate still that says, and I even posted it one time. It says that I flew a Cessna. The guy let me fly the Cessna by myself. I was like, what? Pull it back. Okay. I was like afraid that we're gonna hit a mountain. I'm like, he says, keep pulling it back, slowly breathe. I was like not able to breathe. And then so weird, I had a dream when I'm older that I'm a teenager and I have a casco. I don't know cómo se dice casco.
Helmet.
Sí, el helmet. Uh-huh. I'm glad you said in an airplane, but this is like a Boeing, airplane. And I'm like, what am I doing here? And then I land, and my other friends are also in pilot school. It was just weird. We had a red team. I was in the t-shirts with the red, along with we'll just call him JP because I don't want to say anything. And then the other team, Susan Long and Frank Emart, were right across from me. But it's so weird. It was like a window, but we had to like telepathically say what our mission was, what we're going to do. And then there's other kids. We were in charge of teenagers, being in charge of kids that were elementary school and the teens. So I'm still trying to figure that out. I'm like, oh my gosh, it was so real. Then there was another dream that my mom shows me this Polaroid, and it's of me and my fiance, and I'm dressed we're in the Navy. Okay, and it was during the time of World War II. White, like a dress, the hat, the nylons, the shoes, and I was in the Navy, and he had his suit on, and we had. I'm like, what happened? And I wake up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember. And then I go back to sleep, and the same thing. I have a dream where we're docking. We're done with the war. We're so happy. He has, he's carrying his bag here, and I'm carrying my I want to show you what I was carrying, but I gotta move the camera. Is that okay?
Totally.
Yeah. Whole laptop that I'm gonna, sorry about my mess. I gotta show you because I keep taking pictures and I don't know where to go. Can you see this?
No, not yet. I think you have to sit down with it so that because the green screen.
Oh, that's right. Oh wow. I'm gonna show it now. But it's on the phone. It's one of those old school belices made out of square. They're square, and some of them used it for the Navy or the military. And it's belize that it wears the old luggage, but instead of it being like leather or anything like that, it's made out of this material, and it has like the gold latches on the side, and then the 3 locks in the middle, 2
Nice.
latches in the middle. Yeah, they're also tumbas. You can also say they're tumbas, like the vampires that they carry with them, and sleep in. But it's just really weird. I know it sounds crazy, like I have all these things that I want to say, but in this dream, I find a little girl after we dock, and I have to send her to. It's so weird. Peter the Insider from the ACIO, and Peter the Insider from the ACIO gave me my records, okay, verbally. He said he couldn't send them to me, but he gave me my records, and I Put it on a, it's still on one of the videos online. And I wrote about it. So anyway, I find this little girl and I take the little girl to Peter the Insider. Peter the Insider is on like the Elvis building in Las Vegas. And there's like this um, window, kind of like yellowish window. And then I go around it with the little girl and say, hey, please take care of her. I'm going to go get some, I don't know, powder or diapers. I don't know what she needs, clothes, change of clothes. I go back to the ship, to the Navy ship that we just docked off, my fiance and I, which I'm trying to remember his name. It could start with an L. And I go into the different lockers that we have in the ship, and I'm taking all the supplies for the little girl. And I come out, and now I'm under the ship, and there's these two men that have my fiance in a potato sack, like they have him
Oh,
all.
no.
Yeah, and they threatened me, and I wake up and I start crying like if I'm there. I crazy crying, like I couldn't stop crying. Like, what happened? Where is he? Is this real? And as we know, uh, they do erase memories, and then because I have so many reoccurring memories that I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm at a track somewhere at night running and I'm training at night by myself. But then I'm alone at like Harvard, alone, and nobody's out there, and I'm outside walking to my dorm. I
Those
haven't gone to this. No.
Alondra Markman, I was watching a video of him and he calls those dreameries, like dream memories. And so sometimes, I mean, you're not the first to talk about something that doesn't really feel like a dream. It's too real. It's too, you know. Was that fiance the same one that you know now, or that you married before, or somebody you just don't know because it was in a dream?
No,
Remember now. Okay.
he's from the secret space program, my fiance, but
Okay.
it's not the guy JP that I ran off, that he made me think that we were destined to be together. He was going to leave his wife, all this bullshit that happens. Excuse my language, but this bullshit does happen in the communities.
Yeah.
They'll say, oh, I have a memory of you. You're supposed to be with me. Hi, puppy.
Gidget.
That's Sophie.
This one's Gidget. She's a real
Hi,
rascal.
Kitty. Oh my goodness. It's a cute gadget. Hi, Kitty. Like the show.
Yeah, she's got this cute white spot here. It's so cute.
Oh, qué bonita. Preciosa. I got Lola here. Lola, come up. Say hi. This is my big wolf. Say hi. I don't know if you see
Oh,
her.
beautiful. Hi, Lola.
Say hi. Come here.
Oh, she's cute. Big dog.
Oh my God. She's
She
cute.
must eat a lot, right? You have to.
Does. Like me.
Yeah.
Like
I get
so
my
big.
dog's farmer's dog now, and they just love it. I hope I can keep getting that because it's pretty cool.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So I'm sorry. So yeah. So going back to real quick, I just want to say when I was in also to answer your question, I would also get taken out from school.
That's another thing I've heard a bunch.
Yeah, with my middle sister to like a trailer outside of the school, and there was this Mexican guy, Alvarez. I think his last name was Alvarez. I'm trying to remember, but he had like always would wear this neutral color suit, like yellowish tan suit with the white shirt and a tie. He had black hair. Mr. Andrades, I think. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I even still have his picture. I gotta find his picture. I should have posted that on the book, but he would take us out of class and say that we needed to learn English. And I'm like, I already know how to speak in English and write. But every morning he would start like, hola, buenos días, ¿cómo está? Good morning, how are
Oh,
you? Mi nombre es Jesús Veronica Bartolini. ¿Cómo te llamas tú? Like, what is your name? And we would say it in Spanish and English. And we'd go around the little table for all the kids to say, and then and he would show us like little cards, but I don't have memory what would happen after. All I know is that they would take me to get hearing tests all the time and the bubble test all the time.
The
And then my
bubble?
blood pressure.
Oh, like they see if your skin makes a bubble. What's the bubble?
That and then also the written bubble test, the written.
Oh, those. Right, right,
Yeah,
right.
but I would have like if I had, they would test you for the whatever they call it, the tuberculosis, or they would do eye tests. Now, what I find interesting is I was perfect vision from the day I was born till when I hit sixth grade. They gave me these huge thick glasses, and I'm like, gosh, they must, that's probably when I was in space. But I know that at a year and 5 months, because I do have memories at 3 years old, still swimming under the ocean, being able to breathe, and just talking to the dolphins, and giving classes to children when I was older, how to speak to dolphins, how telepathically, and I
Right.
could breathe water.
You have, sorry to interrupt. You have somebody that you interviewed about that on your channel. You were teaching him how to touch the
Oh,
dolphin's forehead and to know when it's thinking.
that's right. It was Jamin Vasquez.
Yeah.
He has memories of me. What it is I graduated the DOD because I'm different from all the group. Okay. I was taken into the Department of Defense and trained as a special soldier. Okay.
Okay.
I
So
graduated at 16. I was ready at 15, but I graduated at 16. This is according to my records. Now, I have memories of being a guard. I have memories of being a police officer even over there. I have memories of being in the military even over there because I was a police officer here and in the military here. But it was like a friend of mine, Eric, I forget his last name, but he very, very, very tall guy at when I went to speak at the Las Vegas conference in 21, he said, "Oh, Veronica, they used it as a cover." And I'm like, "Oh, it didn't make sense when he told me, but later on and years later, oh, now I get it." So at a year and 5 months, they took me, they meaning Mangala, Dr. Mangala, and there was two brothers that had escaped the Soviet Union and went to Mexico to experiment on children. Now, what I find interesting is I was born in Nogales, Sonora, but after I was a year old, my dad took us to Nogales, Arizona. And at 7, I ended up here with a bunch of those muelas, those molar refills, those fills, those mercury. I still have mercury. I suffer so much from my teeth. And I have like these reptilian teeth that I have an overbite and an underbite at the same time. So I didn't even notice that I had a lisp until I started doing video. It's just weird. We talked earlier, I'm just not from here. I mean, I've been here many times, but I come from the future. I have these vivid dreams that come true. 80 to 90% of my dreams come true about the floods, the future, the boots on the ground, the alien fake invasion. I have seen the mantids in my dreams. There's this man that has a mantis body, and it's weird. Let me go back to when I was a kid. My dad would say, mijita, no estés jugando con los mantis, con los campamochas, te van a morder. Campamochas is mantis, and I would love to just sit there and play with them. And right in my house, just to leave.
wow.
I
They
so
live
in
down
this,
there.
huh?
The praying mantis actually lives in Arizona and Sonora. They
Yeah.
Because we don't have them up here. Just curious.
I was and when I was 1 year old. When I was 1 year old, we went to Nogales, Arizona. So when I was little, like around 3, 4, I played with the campamochas, the praying mantis in Nogales, Arizona. Hmm. And they're just beautiful. And then grasshoppers, I would jump with them, and I don't know, I just played with insects, and I loved the ants, but then again, I would burn them when I was little. Now I won't step on anything. I won't.
Yeah.
I'm just conscious about everything is life to me. We're all biomes, right? The sun. when the sun burns, the reason why the sky is blue is because the bions, the orgone that comes from the sun, we have bions. We are bioluminescence. That's what I also talk about. But going back to it, when I was a year and a half, wait, I have to talk about the praying mantis and then a year and a half. So there's the praying mantis in my dream. It was a ball at church. I don't know. I was born Catholic and then we went to the Christian church. So in the Christian church here, we would always do like a gala night. Once a year, we would dress up and do the gala night and thank God for all of our, goodness and all of our, just thank God. And we would dance and we would eat and things like that. And maybe not dance too much because it was kind of like forbidden. Just the couples, But so going back to that, oh gosh, I lost my train of thought. Let me have my channel back, guys.
Your dream, the mantis in your dream.
The mantis in my dream was a cena de gala. In the dream was a cena de gala, and I was looking for a dress to wear because you had to wear these ball gowns that I have mine made, or sometimes I can find them at Dillard's or Macy's. But I was looking for one of them in the closet that they had there at the ballroom, and the cena de gala was going here, and it was dark, and the people from the church were there. I could see them. And then this praying mantis man with the body of the praying mantis with the head of a human with big glasses. He had a little bit of hair here, just a little bit, and a see-through breathing thing on his head, helmet, I guess you could say, but it was see-through. And he was going and he went to go drink water at the water fountain. And then he went, hi. And he goes telepathically, you want to meet my son? And I said, yes. And then he goes like this with his hand. And there's a baby praying mantis.
Oh my gosh.
With the head of the same, it was a baby, head.
Human?
With glass. Human.
It was a little baby one with a human. Oh my God.
Yeah, and had a human head, right? But with the praying mantis body. I was like, cool. They've always, I've never had a problem with praying mantis. I've even seen the ships in my dreams. They come to rescue me and the other women that James Rink had in a hotel and another female. And then they had us locked up, so they didn't want us to leave. And I was in a business suit, a black and white suit, and I took all the papers of my friends, female friends that were there, and I took it and I had to save them plus the girls. And I'm like, how am I going to get out of here? He put a claymore. I could see through the door that he put a claymore on the floor. And I'm like, he's going to like get us, blown up if I don't leave here. So somehow I'm able to communicate with a mirror because I love to communicate with mirrors, even still here, and windows. I can go through them and everything in my dreams and do all kinds of change timelines, whatever. I'm a time traveler. I also have my business case that I take with me if I want or not. But I somehow take us out. I stop the thing from blowing up and I take us out, the girls, me, and the paperwork. And we're on top of this building and this thing, like an egg-shaped thing, white spaceship, which, by the way, the military did have one in, I believe, the 1800s. Dark Journalist talks about that. So it came to me and it had like a little tiny window, and then they threw a rope ladder to me and the girls, and we were able to escape. So that's the praying mantis. And I've seen the ships here on the south side of Tucson, when I lived on the south side of Tucson, actually parachute down, okay, with the egg-shaped little things. And then on the west side of town, I've seen the military along with the Draco, the black Draco. I've seen them on a ship. I'm not kidding, like Star Trek. I've taken pictures and I've seen the commander there stand up. And he was my father, the alpha one, though, the white one. And I've had to say, hey, I gotta let you go because I don't want to be kind with you. I know you guys are still protecting me, but what you did was not cool. But hey, I do have the Alpha Draco blood. I have the gray dolphin blood. I have, all kinds of the wolf, the lichen. I'm a vampire, and I'm also, well, vampire and werewolf. Just the bloodlines. They've come to me in dreams, and the beings have come to me, and they've shown me things because I've asked. Okay, so that's that. And then, so when I was a year and a half, they took me and the Dr. Mangala and the other two guys from the Soviet Union started giving me plasma shots, just the different shots, so that I'd be safe underwater or whatever. I don't know what the heck those shots were for, but they're called nanite plasma with mixed with Quaalude shot. And it's weird because when I was in the army, they gave me the anthrax shot with other things mixed with the sharp Quaalude, and that messed my back up. But it was supposed to light, it's supposed to light up your spine, so that's a bleed through. But anyway, um, I was able to communicate with the species, with the dolphins there and the fish, and even the spongy things. There was like a lot of fluoride, blue and pinks and yellow sea things that were connected with the dark black AI that I can. So it's just weird plants that I've seen even in my dreams and in my regressions, and I was able to speak to them in a baby voice that I still have. And then Peter says that I was scaring them because they could not believe that I could communicate with them, because I can communicate with everything. It's just easy to me. I can manifest really fast. I think the fastest that I've ever manifested was like 20 minutes because I wanted something for my daughter, but I didn't have the money. And I'm like, man, I'll get it. I know I can get it. And the lady comes to me and says, "You've been so nice to me here." And she gives it to me for my daughter. I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you. Like, it was not my intention. Like, I didn't say you have to. It was just, I don't know how to explain the magic that we are magic. We are, I always say I come from the Jinn line because I come from the tribe of Dan, I think, or I think it's one of the tribes that has like the reddish hair that is not mentioned too much in the Bible, and they didn't like us because we didn't do the whole worship thing. We just did everything on our own, even though we knew we
I
came
was
from.
I
Yeah.
was learning about early Christianity this morning, learning about there's all these other gospels I'm sure you know, like the Thomas, there's one of Judas, there's one of Mary, and
Yeah.
I was just asking ChatGPT about it, so I was getting an overview, but I would like to read them and understand better. Okay, let me ask you, if you don't mind, when do you think you were taken to space? And like in all that, it sounds like it's a little bit confusing because they would mess with you in school and those after school things. Like, um, there's a bunch of people that have talked about that. And then how did you get to the part when you were in the tube, the big goo tube, and
Yeah.
they made you Hulk out,
So
right?
when I was in Paris, yeah, I was in Paris, but I've never been to Paris, but I was in Paris in my dream. And it was me and Susan and another guy, and we were going to a party on our way. It was night, it was a celebration. It was like really cold, but I was in a black long trench coat and like a skirt. It's just weird. We go inside this place where they have these weird um aquatic life inside the aquariums, and they have different fluorescent color, red. There's some alien being things that I've never seen before that are in there. And I was like taking pictures, and then I come outside. I had to. There's there's explosions of ¿cómo se dice las cuando es el 4 de julio y que hacen puras explosiones
Firecrackers.
sí, los cohetes. Okay. So there was firecrackers going on, and at the same time there was an explosion inside there. And then that's when I wake up in the I'm a She-Hulk, and I'm waking up on a slab, and they like have all these things tied to me and the tubes in my nose and everything in my stomach. There's monitors. They're pumping in the red. They're taking my red blood and my green blood to give it to others, which is Sheila and the 99. It's so weird. Right now I'm thinking about this. Okay, this is weird. You seen Christmas?
Yeah,
Christmas thing, red and
red
green.
and
Oh my
green.
gosh.
You think
So
there's
the red and green Hulk, they made from me. And the wolf also, because I also have Sheila and the Wolverine. And there's my dreams of being in the tank stuck. And also that's a bleed through to where here I am being given shots for my back because I'm in so much pain. And they do the laughing gas or whatever. And my doctor, he comes in with two females. He says, hey, they're going to be here while I'm giving, there's a big old MRI machine. They're giving me these shots. That was the last time I got shots. And I heard him say, do you see that black thing that's winding over her spine?
Whoa, that's weird.
Yeah. And then when I go see him, I said, hey, doctor, why are you telling them about this black thing around my spine? He says, I never said that. I said, yes, you did. I heard you. It was your voice with them. And I saw them. I looked at him and I saw them when he was saying that because you're on your stomach. And I'm like, holy F. So that's a bleed through to when I got a free reading from this guy named Osiris Ra back in 2018. He said, oh, you're just like, you're half a cyborg and you're half human. I see it. And then, yes, the octopus is what they had on your back when you were in the tank. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's just weird.
Was that
It
on,
just,
was it
huh?
was it somewhere not on Earth that they were doing that? Or where do you think that was?
They have labs here on Earth where they were doing that.
Okay.
And then also in Mars. In Mars. And the frequency in Mars is way higher than on Earth. So you can manifest faster in Mars. And remember, I was in Uranus too, and Pluto. Pluto is where the blue dogmen are, where I had to fight the blue dogmen, where I just opened their jaw and I'm just like throw them. And I don't care. They're awful. The blue dogmen are awful. But I have had experiences with the dogmen, the regular dogmen, and the wolf beings because I'm also part that. So they're good to me. The cryptid. I have so many pictures that I posted on Facebook where, hey, do you see the cryptid? They're right there. I was born what they call a natural psychic. They wanted to take me out, and I had that near-death experience. But going back to the Mangala brothers, I was able to breathe underwater. They put me in like this little pea pod thing. I was a baby at a year and a half, and I was able to breathe and see underwater and everything. I've always been like bigger than my whole family. I'm going to show you a picture when they took me to the secret space program and they left my clone. And then when I came back was in 20, after the shooting, the near-death experience happened. Let's see, then forward to 2017 or 2018. That's when my light came out and that's where I came back from where they had me under the tank. Now, they had me under the tank in Florida. Okay. And there's CERN that's connected from Texas to Florida there. And then there's Sandia Labs that, the Mac 4 train, oh gosh. Let me remind you about the dream the real dream that happened of the maglifts underground, okay, just recently. Okay, let me bring back the picture so I can show you when. Be right back.
You guys want to see my dog Sophie here? This is Sophie. She's pretty sweet. She's a little bit skittish, but that's okay. I'll let her go now.
I'm going to show you a picture of the trailers where they took us. This was me at 3 years old, at 3 or 4. How old was I? This one here, I think I was 5. And my little sister's right here. And the trailers are right here where my house, my little house that my mom rented, my dad was right in front of Lincoln Elementary School in Nogales, Arizona.
And
These were the trailers that they would.
oh, wow.
Huh?
That's crazy. So you lived right by your school, and those are the trailers you were just
Right in front
telling
of the school.
me about.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Right there. I've never shown this picture before, but I'll send it to you. And now they took me at I think I was 4 here, 3 or 4, my mom says. And this is the clone. This is what happened is they gave me cortisone and I blew up. I'm allergic to cortisone. That's me with my red hair. So what happened is I heard a voice, kind of like not really auditory, but a man was saying, hey, what would happen if you put, because I was like cleaning out my ears and it was Q-tip. What would happen si te pones el Q-tip aquí y le pegas a la silla? If you do that.
Yeah,
So
that's
I hit it and I started bleeding. And my mom had a little get together there. And my dad was upset. Everybody was upset because I actually did that thing with the
okay.
Q-tip to my ear.
Eardrum.
Busted. So then they gave me the cortisone and I blew up like a blueberry.
Oh no.
So that's my clone that they left behind. And
They
then
took
I
you
came
young.
back.
They took
Huh?
you at 3. They must have taken
Yeah,
you at 3 and brought you back in a clone or
yeah, they brought me back. I have different clones. But I'm back now. Is Now the thing of it is they say that clones break down so that they need a lot of like repair. Well, I've been needing a lot of repair. Now I have to have my 4th bladder surgery. I had surgery on my back from LS1, which is a tailbone, all the way to L5 or 6. I have titanium, and then I have titanium in my neck, 4 of them, and then I need more surgery on my back, the T-zone. My hands go numb every night. It's so hard to sleep because I'm constantly in the restroom, and then I have to wear braces, and then sometimes the braces I gotta take them off because then my shoulder hurt. Everything is like needing repair. They gave me cancer because they didn't want me to talk about this. I've had myoxid liposarcoma stage 3. In 2003, I was diagnosed with that. They took out, like I told you, my lower buttocks from left to right. It was hell. I went necrotic. I've had 3 surgeries, 2 blood transfusions from that. And then in January, they took my lower left lung. And I've always had a problem just coughing. And my mom would shoot me up with, because they didn't have money to take me to the doctor. So when I was a kid, I'd get sick and they'd give me the penicillin shots. It was just hell. And I'm allergic to penicillin.
God.
So as an adult, I'm allergic to penicillin. Um,
Um,
just my dad, instead of going, huh?
I just an aside, I accidentally I felt so terrible. My son's when he was 5, his eardrum. I was doing a Q-tip and it pierced his eardrum, and it
Oh
bled.
no.
And then, but we didn't do anything. And I talked to my dad, who's a doctor, and he said it'll heal. So they didn't need to do
Oh,
that to you. I don't think
no.
they didn't need to shoot you up with something.
Yeah, I know. And my dad, like they would, like I said, they couldn't afford a doctor. So whenever I had teeth that had to be pulled out, he would do a string on it and then he'd do
The
it toward the door and he slammed it. Did you guys do that too?
I've heard about it. No, we just let mine get loose and then really loose, and then finally I'd pull them out myself.
Yeah, yeah. I was tortured as a child. Oh, I can laugh now, but I'm still healing from all that. So well, it's been a crazy ride. Now they found a cyst on my left, here, and they're gonna do a biopsy on the 17th. And I'm in a lot of pain every day. I still work out as I can. Good thing that they sent Lola to me. I think I sent Lola to myself. I don't know. Lola is a diamondback wolf and a German Shepherd. In my dream in 2017, yeah, there was this white wolf. Go ahead. There was this white wolf that talked to me in my dream and had a lot of little baby coyotes or wolves behind her. And she was saying something to me. And then right before I wake up, she says, Mother. And I'm like, what? It's a white wolf in my dream with the brown hair on the ears. And years later, 4 years ago, Lola shows up in my apartment complex. And I didn't know she was pregnant. She kept asking for food. She didn't want me to touch her, nothing. They told me her name was Lola, that she had escaped a year ago. She's been on the run for a year in the desert from a man that wouldn't give her water. She would jump to the neighbor's house and get water there,
Oh,
and
poor.
they would keep her leash on there. Yeah, it's horrible in the desert here in the sun. So she had been on the run for a year, got pregnant. I didn't know she was pregnant. And then one day I was on my way to the gym, and then I see she's barking, and the neighbor says, "Hey, Lola had puppies." I'm like, "What?" I didn't know she was pregnant. And she had some were Shepherds, which is pit bulls mixed with German Shepherds. Some of them were clear German Shepherds, like her black. I called one of an Anubis. I named all of them. I didn't know what to do. I had just had surgery on my foot. I'm like, what the heck am I going to do? I had a little tiny studio, and I took all of them in. I didn't sleep, making sure that Lola wouldn't, roll over her puppies. And she's my emotional support dog. And
Oh,
she's with me. Yeah, she's amazing. She's
she's
amazing.
lucky she found you.
I know. And one time when she was like going up on my bed, when I just got, her, the female was a face instead of Lola's face, the German Shepherd. It was a female from the 1700 times with a tall, like
Uh-huh.
neck thing that was lace, white lace, and she has red, curly red hair, and her eyes are like a moon. She is so pretty. So sometimes I wonder if the aborted children are placed into animals to make them human hybrid, animals. Sometimes I wonder.
Diabolical.
It is diabolical. And you know what else they do is they take the blood of the children, the adrenochrome, and take half of it for them. They pretty much make it into powder, unfortunately. They curse half of it, and then so that cursed half they put in the food, and they put in the big pharma. They curse half of it for humanity,
Wait, you
and
think
the
so?
other half.
So they just put it
Yeah,
randomly in food in different places?
yeah. A lady online spoke about it. I don't remember her name. I don't know if I still have the link, but if I do, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
But there's just a lot of crappy stuff that happens. They even put us through Stargates. I was in the Stargate program through the Army. And I was Bravo 18, and I was also under Dulce Base. I do have memories of me being taken to Dulce Base in the elevator by a man in black, very tall, black and white suit, and then the other two were birds. They were hybrid bird males. They had, for their skin, they had leaves, black, green leaves, different orange, red colors, and they were sitting on the elevators. That ¿cómo se llama esa cosa que se
The railing?
ilumina? Yeah, the railing,
I think
the
so.
the railing. Yeah, they were perched right there, just
And
looking at me,
oh,
like telling
perched.
me can't move.
Oh my God.
I've had dreams of the seventh heaven where there's these huge gold doors. There's 7 doors that I go into this huge auditorium. It's like a 2-story auditorium, and everybody's there watching this lady inside. There's like underground and on top as well. And she says, how we created you was with milk and egg. She says, and she's opening the refrigerator and showing milk and egg, and how they made us in underwater. So I was like, I am not bowing down to your God. I don't believe in this. And somehow I left from there. It was just weird. People were dressed in like normal clothes, and I was the only one dressed in a suit. And I left. The man opened the door for me, all 7 doors. And I try and escape. And all of a sudden, I'm like, I've never been to, well, anyway, I've never been to the Grand Canyon, but it seems like I'm in the Grand Canyon, but inside. I don't know how to explain it. It could be Mars, like the dunes. I don't know if you've ever seen Dune, the movie Dune.
Yeah.
So, but it's inside, like it's an auditorium, but it's it's just so weird. And I have to go through a hole. There's these huge rocks. They're red rocks. And then somehow I find a hole, and the hole is there's a sofa there, and then somehow I almost get stuck, and somehow I get out on the other side of the wormhole, we'll call it. And then I see the bird God from the seventh heaven.
Oh my gosh.
He's a male with black hair. He has sort of a beak, but not really. He has like a little, he looks human. He looks like the Aztec god. And his whole skin is the same thing. The bird, the leaves with the different color flowers, and he's wearing orange, an orange toga thing. And he just looks at me, and then I'm sent to a room. I have to talk to somebody there that's in a business suit. I'm like, and I wake up. And so I'm able to go through different wormholes, different time, space, reality. I can leave Earth. They don't like it because I can leave Earth, you know? And I think that's why I have so many problems, you know, physically, and also the water that they dropped in the south side of Tucson. When I was a kid, there was this radiated water from, it was not Lucky Martin, but the other one, Raytheon. Raytheon on the south side there by the casinos. They dropped some radiated water into the water system. So I drank it. My mom drank it. My sisters. We all have bone problems, you know, vision problems. A lot of I have pain 24/7. But and I have bone on my knees. I need so much repair. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm back now. I need to take care of myself more, you know.
Maybe the med will finally come out. I
I
really
hope so. But you know what I'm doing on my own is I'm getting MRIs because there's a cyst in my liver that actually looks like a heart. Can you believe that? I was there 2 weeks ago and they gave me an MRI and they showed me that. I have a cyst in my kidney. The cyst in my liver, we're watching it. You know what the Asian doctor told me
what?
about it? About the cyst in my liver? She says, oh, you were probably born with it. What? And it looks like a heart and it's grown. So it's not a regular cyst, it's a number 2 cyst. So they're watching it just to make sure that nothing happens bad. And then it's
Um,
just I have screws in my feet and one of them came out and I had to take that out, and this one's out now and it hurts so bad. I still work out with this thing. It's just a lot of stuff that has happened
you
that
should
sometimes
also consider getting some apricot kernels because I
I
mean,
did.
you,
I remember I told you about
you
them.
still do you eat them? Because I eat like 30 a day just as preemptive.
I eat 5 a day, huh?
I
30 a
eat
day.
30. I eat 15 in the morning and 15 at night.
Really?
Yeah, I've been doing
I
that
I'm
for a week and
I cough a lot.
I feel great. And my dog, the brown dog, she loves them. I've given
Oh
her like
wow.
4 in a day and she's fine too. So that,
I'm
that
gonna look up if can German Shepherds do it. I know they can do cashew, but not almond. So I give my dog cashews.
yeah, I'm sure she could have some of that. Some if you
Okay, I'm
especially if
gonna
you brush it.
increase. Yeah, I'm gonna increase the dose. I think you were the one that told me to get them a long time ago,
Maybe
which
so.
I
Yeah,
did. Yeah.
I've been really into alternative things.
Yeah. Yeah, I did ivermectin. I did the whole girl. I did everything.
Are you
Everything
still
that
taking
everybody would say. Have you
ivermectin
tried
though?
this? I have to get some now, but I don't. I ran out. There's a lady that told me that there's American pharmacy, something like that, that they have ivermectin. They sell all the stuff that they're not in the regular big pharma thing. I've tried everything that everybody said. I've done
Hold
all
on.
kinds of detox.
I'm
Yes.
gonna run really quick. I'll be right back. I want to show you something.
Okay. So anyway, I think we were talking about when I was a kid. Okay, so they would take me to these tests. They would also take me to libraries and different universities, also to go look at telescopes and a lot of space stuff. You know, it was interesting. Is that the EDTA
This
resveratrol?
this is no, this is just they call it Paragon, and it has fenbendazole and ivermectin. And I'm taking that
What?
because I have a fatty tumor on my head, and then I'm also doing LifeWave patches, and then one day
Oh
I
yeah, I have the light
got
read. Yeah.
squishy and like it's getting smaller, like it's
Hey,
reversing. And then but then
yeah.
I got scared, like, oh, what if it's bad? So I ordered this. But I'm just saying that you can get this so easy. It is a little bit expensive. It's $99 for a month's supply, but it's
How do
got
you
both of them
spell
in
it?
there. How,
P-A-R.
yeah, Paragon, Paragon. And I got it from a
Oh,
place called Mahoney Supplements. Mahoney World. It's kind of a funny name. Um, it took
oh,
about
this,
a week to get to me, but it came.
there's one called Paragon for $16.89. Wormwood Black Walnut Grove and
That's different. That's another great way to get rid of parasites, but this is
yeah, I did that too. Mhm.
anti-cancer. I will send you the link, okay?
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I like I said, I've tried everything. I tried zeolite, but the zeolite that doesn't have aluminum because there's some that have aluminum. The walnut, the flaxseed oil, the clove, wormwood, everything. The all that you sent me, thank you. I did that too. But so
Maybe
right now it's just
consistency.
maintenance, you know?
Dr. Makis says that a lot of patients get better after 3, 4 months, and then their thing is gone. So might want to
Yeah.
consider being consistent. I'm going to try to be consistent for 2 or 3 months doing this and the apricot kernels.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna increase the apricot kernels because I eat them every day, but I eat five.
Okay, well that's good. I mean, you can have more if you want, probably, but
I start coughing because
they're
I
kind
think
of
I'm allergic.
weird. They make my mouth numb a tiny bit.
Oh,
They're
yeah, because
they're kind
it
of
has
weird tasting.
it has that C word cyanide. They
Yeah,
contain
cyanide,
cyanide.
but it's um John Richards, he was the son of a doctor who cured thousands of patients with using those um
Mhm.
back in the early 70s. He tells his story. He's kind of huge he's like the biggest figure right now in apricot kernels. And
Oh,
his father lost his license to practice medicine, and then they made an article with apricot kernels to all forming a skull to make it scare people and like, oh, it has cyanide, but
oh
it's
wow.
impossible. It's bound. It's not loose. It can't. That thing kills the invaders, not you. Um,
Right. They always want to make things bad for us when they're not.
they just want to keep using chemo and radiation, and
I said no.
good for you. Yeah, that doesn't work. I lost my
No.
sister and my stepmother to that.
Yeah, I read so a long time ago I said, hey, um, there's mustard gas in chemo. And people were like, no, you're wrong, you're weird, you're wrong. And then 2 years ago, I got the book called The Emperor of All Melodies. And sure as crap, it's in there. Cyanide is, I mean, mustard gas is in chemo because
Wow.
they made you know, the explosions, all that during the World War II and everything. And oh, so they added that in there. Sorry, let me get my nose here. But I find interesting that speaking of the whole thing, the mushroom cloud and all that, the weapons of mass destruction. Um, I found out 2 years ago that my great great grandfather was a doctor in Corsica,
Oh,
and his name was Francisco Bartolini, and the right hand man of Napoleon. And Napoleon sends him to the United States, and he didn't want to come. He was full-blooded Italian, and my great-great-grandmother was full-blooded French, last name Mossot, Mossot. So
Mosul.
Mossot,
I speak French too.
I don't speak French, but I do understand a little bit. And
Yeah,
when
it's so
it's
much like
written,
Spanish. It's just
yeah,
the accent is different, but it's
yeah,
so much of it is similar.
yeah. Like the other day, there was a girl talking about the secret space program in French, and I understood what she was saying. I'm like, this is so cool.
That's
And
awesome.
even, yeah, I like that you speak French.
I spoke that
Um,
before I spoke Spanish. But anyway, go on. I'm sorry. I'm
oh, neat.
talking too much.
No, I so sorry because sometimes I interrupt you on my show. I get all
Oh no, it
excited.
just happens. I'm not interrupting is something that just happens. It's not like a
Yeah,
anyway, please
I
continue.
don't think they should. Yeah, I don't think they should call it interrupting because we're so highly telepathic that you can talk and I can talk and we get what you're like. I get it. Like, I love it. That's how I communicate with my friends mostly. Um, so yes, so they came to the United States, and then make a long story short, he was a doctor here. And one of my aunts from, so my dad had two aunts and two uncles. And one of my aunts, Francisca Bartolini, ended up marrying an Oppenheimer brother because Oppenheimer had two brothers, right? There was two Oppenheimers. And they were all in Los Alamos working, you know. So, and my grandfather had, great grandfather also had a dealing there in Los Alamos. So I'm trying to figure out what happened because my aunt, she was told by the Oppenheimer's family that if he married her, that they would disinherit him. Well, my great aunt, ended up marrying the Oppenheimer, and he took her to a place called El Dorado, which was a huge, like, beautiful place there, and they went to their honeymoon there. And they were planning on having children, but then he went to South America, South America, and he got shot in the back. By who? I want to know who. I do want to know who. I wonder if it was the NAZI or what happened, because I know he must have, my great grandfather must have been part of the Project Paperclip. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is
But he
wild.
was full-blooded Italian, you know, and then my great. So anyway, later on, I heard that I think they took out my great grandfather. So um, my great grandmother was asked to come back to France, to go back to France, because my great great grandfather was from Corsica, the island of Corsica, and she was from France. So the government, I guess you can say, asked her, "Hey, come back," and then she said, "Hell no," pretty much. She was not going to go back, and I think they wanted to take her out too. But
Why?
this,
Why?
well, see, this whole secret thing, the whole secret space program, the whole BOMB,
Uh-huh.
happened, what, what they made, Oppenheimer,
Oh, right, yeah.
and I know he must have known Enrico Fermi because I can channel Enrico Fermi and Tesla. And I had a regression where he knew Tesla. And this was years before I found out all this information that my great great grandfather, all this stuff. And I'm like, wow. And one of my uncles, one of my brother's uncles, because my dad had, there was 12 of them. He was taken from our family. He was stolen and taken to Mexico. Well, he's a physicist and a mathematician. And I finally met him last year after all these years. I met him and his kids, and my kids met him. And it was just beautiful. And then I have another uncle, Bartolini, also, that worked for NASA as a gemologist.
Wow.
So, I wanted to be a doctor. I said, I'm going to be a doctor or a cop, but I ended up being a cop. But I've always been very interesting in anatomy and how the brain works and the spiritual too, spirituality, metaphysics. I'm Metaphysics is what pretty much runs the universe. It's not the mathematics here. What I was hearing the other day, I'll send you the link, is the anti-wave, the Tesla anti-wave. A lot of people don't talk about that. They shunned it away from math. So the anti-wave, what it is when you're playing an instrument. I'm going to do this, okay, real quick. The bells. There's a wave. And then there's a wave that comes back. And that's the anti-wave.
Oh,
Okay.
cool.
They charge. Yeah. And then like when you're playing the guitar, right? I know how to play the guitar, violin,
Yeah, I
piano.
play a
So
little bit.
yeah. So when you do the PMI, even when
Uh-huh.
you just okay, so you hear it, but then you feel the instrument, you feel it vibrate.
Yes.
That's the anti comes
Oh,
back
that's
to
really
you.
cool.
So cool, right? So what Tesla did was he used the anti-wave to send a message to outer space. He kept talking about the anti-wave, and then the whole mathematicians or physicists, they shunned him. They called him crazy. They wouldn't fund his things anymore. They wouldn't
Yeah,
fund him.
that was JP Morgan because he realized that he was going to give free energy to the world.
Everything.
And I can't wait till we have that.
Oh, I have goosebumps everywhere. But you know what? I just got this right now is that we are the free energy. We have the wave and the anti-wave. We
Okay.
are. Even speaking, my waves are going to outer space because the other one's coming back. Get it? It goes.
Even your
So you can
thought, I think
send.
your thought goes.
Yeah. So you can send. That's why when you send healing, and I send healing to myself, I'm healed right now. I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem. I don't have cancer. I don't have, but I'm going through stuff to repair my body. Yes, I'm in pain because there's a reason for that. They keep using the waves that the military has through my phone and through the internet, and also the drones that come over us. There's just a lot of technology that even Sabrina Wallace talks about that, how they can hack into your body, whether they're using your phone or not, how we have implants. We've had, especially us that, are in the program. So I'm sure you are too. I mean, a lot of us were used, everybody's used in with MK Ultra and Voice to Skull and all the programming on TV with the movies, Hollywood, music, you name it, politics. The politicians use religion. I mean, I'm just watching this movie called Being Human. It's a series called Being Human, and they give you so many secrets there. They're like, yes, all the politicians use religion for blah blah blah. You know, um, then they were saying, well, Jesus rose again on the third day. Well, what if he was a vampire? All this stuff that they talk about. Oh, and then on this movie called Black Day and Night, I've never watched it with Tom Cruise and Carmen Diaz. I had never watched it, and it triggered my altar, the
Uh-huh.
assassin, and he said when he was getting her like this, he took her and then did the gun. Like he had the gun, like he was trying to take her. There's a scene there, and then he was going, "Hey, pie for everyone, except not a la mode. Don't eat the ice cream because it weakens the legs." Abraham Lincoln knew it, but they got to him, and then he leaves the scene. I'm like, what did they just drop the ball? You know what I mean? They just dropped some information there. Don't eat ice cream.
No, don't eat ice cream.
Don't
That's
eat
kind
ice
of a
cream
bummer.
because it weakens the legs. They said.
Okay.
What have you heard about that?
I haven't. I have not heard that. And I don't eat a lot of ice cream, but sometimes I do. But I only like the good. I've made my own too, which is fun. But maybe I should.
Yeah, the organic. It's just weird. Like I think sugar is because I know sugar is poison, so I think it has to do a lot with sugar and the chemicals they put in there.
Well, and
So
cream is not what we're not baby cows, so
yeah, exactly. So okay, I learned that, right, and then they took out my dad. So when I was 13, he took his life. And I'm thinking maybe he had an awakening and didn't know how to deal with it, and maybe they took him out that way.
How
But
did he took his own life? Or
yeah, he shot himself.
my mom did that too. Did you know that?
What?
When I was 12. So
What?
we have that in common.
Your
We
mom?
totally
Why?
so sad.
I know. It broke it. That's how
She
they
was
try and break us.
she was schizophrenic a little bit, but she was also very sane, and she was manic depressive. She was
Mhm.
having a lot of pain. She came from Australia and was far from her original family. Um,
Oh my
I'm gonna
gosh.
show you a picture.
Sorry.
Ah, oh, I can't open that drawer right now. I'm sorry. I was gonna show you a picture because she was really pretty. But but yeah, so and I don't know what happened to her. I wish I could talk to her. Like I don't really I dream about her sometimes, but
Send me her name and then maybe she'll be in my dream and I can ask her too.
Mary Casamatis.
Ari?
Mary Casamatis.
What a pretty name.
Cassimatis. Yeah, her parents came from Greece to Australia in that massive exodus from the 20s and 30s.
Wow. Yeah, it's just that's how they do the whole breaking, shattering our mind
Yeah,
by
that's hard. That's
being
hard.
abandoned.
So sad
Yeah.
to deal with it all our lives, right? Just
All of our lives thinking that we were abandoned and that they were not loved. And that's how they were, that's how they took me. And they sent a message saying that I had to go to California. And I told my mom I need to go to California. I was only 16 and I was there with my cousin. But then at the same time, there's 9999 South Sepulveda Boulevard or Sepulveda Boulevard. And that's one of the
right.
Mars jump routes that I was with Max Spears. I was commander there. And but at the same time, when I was 16, I was RAPED in California.
Oh gosh.
And I was a I was a virgin. I was supposed to get married in white. I had promised my dad. So that's how they get in, like they infiltrate the child's mind, they fracture and they divide and conquer. That's their art of war. So it's which I do not consent. It's been hell. We always think, oh, we're gonna find someone to love us, but then love is also programmed,
It
to
always changes after a few years. How
manipulate.
um have you written your story about being a commander on Mars and like the I know that Max Spears' testimony was kind of what sparked you to like, oh, wait a
Yeah,
second.
yeah.
Have
I
you
wrote
written it
about it,
down?
and yeah, I did. Sheila and the 99
That one. Okay,
is
okay, okay. I need to read that one.
thank you. And then the third one is Sheila, Wolverine, Mars, Montauk, and SSP. That one I talk a lot about, like the wolves. I even had a dream with Hitler, and we were coming out of a church, and I wrote about that. It's just really interesting, all these weird things that have happened to me. I've been on ships. I mean, I've even had a man that looked like Cyrus Parsa in my dream, but I didn't know it was him until I started reading his stuff this year. But in 2018, I had a dream where this short man with wearing a penguin suit, like a black and white tuxedo thing, and he hands me a beautiful black, like sleeveless, like a heart-shaped dress, very beautiful velvet. And we are in an apartment somewhere high rise, and it's so weird. My mom's cooking shrimp for me and him, and I'm like, what's my mom doing in my dream, right? But they use holograms to pretend that they're your family or whatever. And then I'm in front of a mirror, and I look at myself, and then I wear this beautiful dress, and he says, "Here's a pen." He gives me a black pen, and then we're on an airplane. he and I are on an airplane. So I'm thinking, okay, he gives me a pen to erase people's memories. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
a weapon, or a weapon. So I just have always been fascinated by just the whole secrets of the government, the how they do their whole assassin thing, how they plot people, how they, um, how they find the truth, how you travel, how do you travel to Mars? Well, it's not the conventional way. We travel through wormholes, Our energy can be in many places, not just here.
They can
So we're
using orbs too. Ashton Forbes proved that about that's what they did to MH370. They
Mhm.
portaled it out of where it was. I think they took it from there to Diego Garcia, but yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
on
mean, and
film.
even orbs though can be like beings, okay?
Yeah, I think there's
Because
different kinds of orbs. Um,
mhm,
but in that case there were three and there's two camera angles. It's pretty much I really he did such good research and proved it. I'm convinced. So,
yeah, you can use energy and harvest it and send it wherever you want. And then when those are the bions that I'm talking about, everything is bioluminescence. Like this glasses, this bell, it's the leather, everything has DNA in it. Everything has bioluminescence, which bioluminescence is us. And we are pretty much plasma, electromagnetism. We're just in a body right here, and we are we are creators. We can create whatever we want, and what they, have, the elites or wannabe elites have wanted to tell us that we're lesser than them, that we're worms, that we're, like in the Baptist church, you're as low as a worm, or you're a sinner. Like, no, it's there's more to us than just going to heaven or hell. That's bullshit. That's what they wanted us to believe in, so that way that we don't go into and harness our own power. Yes, there is. I believe that there is God, and I do believe in Jesus and Mary Magdalene, but I don't want to get stuck on the whole worship thing, or giving your heart away
me
to them,
too.
because
I talk about that a lot with my partner and he's really anyway, I don't want to go into that really, but or into him really, but for me, and that's why it was fun to learn about today. The Gospel of Thomas is about if if you think the power is out there in the sky, then the bird get it first. And if you think it's in the water, then the fish are there first. What it's saying is that it's in you, it's everywhere. The God is in you. He doesn't even talk about the crucifixion, I don't think. And yeah, I
yeah,
was thinking about this yesterday that Jesus was if it's all about him dying and his blood sacrifice of somebody so pure that that's what humanity needed, then why when he was alive were people already just loving being around him and he was already causing like people to wake up. um
right. That's what he was doing.
I think that's what he wanted to do, and it was just because Rome is so awful they had to be so cruel and do something like that.
Yeah. And then we're reminded every time when they do, the whole Pasqua. Oh, I saw Jesus, on the cross. Oh, the blood. No, they just want to, they are warning us, if you do this, then we did that to him. But at the same time, Ashiana Dean talks about how when it was Joshua 9
Right.
given these
That's what
dreams, and the
Mary Beaver talks about too, I think.
yeah, because it was not the real Joshua 12 did not get crucified. The real Jesus did not get crucified. So they're talking about that there was this man that looked like Jesus, and they put his, all kinds of like visions in him. The Pharisees had ways of the technology and things like that, and so that he could do some of the miracles, and then they ended up crucifying him, but not the real Joshua Benjamin. But there's other books too. There's hi. Um, Hola, what are you doing? So then there's other books like Enoch
Yeah,
and Cain and Abel. When I read Cain and Abel, oh my gosh, I cried because I realized that we were worshiping the wrong guy, you know, like at church. And I remote viewed after watching Thor, Love and Thunder. It was, oh my gosh, what they did to him in the movie. But I recognized that it was Zeus and Jupiter, and that's where pretty much all the gold is, you know, like being stored or whatever. When I read the book of the law that was written by Alistair Crowley, I cried too because the whole spirit, the whole dove, supposedly that is the Holy Spirit, is actually Baphomet, and that's what they worship. So it's all these lies, like Cain and Abel. How do we know that Cain was not like? Because I started code breaking it. That's why I call myself code breaker, real talk, because I break these, I see these things in between words. And I'm like, well, what if we are the Cain? What if we are Cain? What if that's our bloodline? And they just want to say that we're bad. What if, because they flip everything, you know what I mean?
yeah, that's
They
right.
flip,
They invert everything. Um,
uh-huh.
I think I better my dogs are going crazy and I need to take
Okay,
them on
yeah.
a walk.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, I have to take mine too. Thank you, Sybil, for letting me
anyway,
be
that was a
on
really fun talk. We kind of went around in some areas, but we
circles.
got a lot of secret space stuff
Yeah,
in there
we
too.
did.
So that
We
was really
did.
cool.
And the only thing that I wanted to say real quick is when we're born, our birth certificates, they pretty much put us in maritime time law.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they take us
I
to
know.
water.
I yes,
Is that?
I'm big into that, knowing about that. But I don't know anyone who knows how to get their Sestui KV trust.
Uh-huh.
We're supposed to have a
There's
master
been
trust.
there's been people that have talked about that. Yeah. You can
They
also
killed
ask.
David Straight last year,
Huh?
and I actually cried. I don't know if he knew everything, but he sure did drop a lot of bombs and
Yeah. Like,
man,
okay, Mama, I love you, Sybil.
I
Love you,
love you
tons.
too. We'll
I'll
talk
see you
again
soon.
soon.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.